Okay, good evening, everyone. This is your professor, Dr. Jakes, and this week we are in week number 6, I believe. Let's just make sure. Yes, so we are in week number 6, and I am about to start recording our week number 6 lecture. Um, we are going to talk about some biographical sources and biographical information in this particular lesson. Um, some housekeeping first. For one thing, it looks like we don't have any new questions, comments, and concerns. Um, yeah, so it looks like the last one that we got here was on February the 10th. Another housekeeping piece, and I've mentioned this before, so this is going to be my last time mentioning it with this particular assignment. So, for those of you who did not know, and apparently some of you did not know, this reference interaction report, where you had to visit a reference desk and get some reference assistance, this, you all, was due on February the 10th. I have some submissions that, all of the submissions that I got have been graded, okay? If you do not have a grade for that, that means I did not get a paper from you. And this was due on February the 10th. So, if I don't have a grade from you on this, if I don't have a grade for you on this, and I didn't get a submission from you on this, then we might have a little bit of a problem. It is my suggestion that you get in touch with me ASAP. I will be recording zeros for this assignment on March the 1st if I do not hear from you. So if I do not hear from you by March the 1st regarding this assignment that was due February 10th, you will get a 0 for this assignment. I do not like giving zeros. Please get in touch with me if you have not submitted your reference interaction report. Then there's some other housekeeping that I want to do with this. For one thing, I can tell that a lot of you did not read the rubric when doing the first assignment for this class. So there is a rubric here. And I paused that for a little bit. Coming back out, I am going to, so your next assignment, and I did a video related to this assignment last week. Your next assignment is due March the 17th. I hate that I can't move those little things. Oh, instructor, good old instructor view. There we go. So, I need you all to realize that you have an assignment prompt here for this next assignment that's due March the 17th. And you have a rubric down here. If you cannot see this rubric, let me know, please, because I will be grading you on this rubric. And like I said, I can tell that quite a few of you in the last assignment did not follow the rubric. You did not look at what the rubric said and did not operate by it. And unfortunately, I had to penalize for that. And I don't like penalizing points, especially when it's something avoidable. So if you cannot see this rubric, please let me know. If it's not showing up in student view, let me know so that I can do something about that. Your partners have been assigned. I am going to go back into announcements and go back into last week's lecture. So that you can see your assignments, your partner assignments for this next assignment. One may be subject to change. I got an email today saying somebody's partner will not respond to them, so I may have to work that out. But as of right now, as of February the 25th at 5:30 p.m., which this will probably upload more around 7, but today, as of today, these are the partner assignments. We have Eve and Ellen. We have Alyssa and Zuzi. We have Jen and Rochelle. We have Alexis and Wendy, Robert and Alice, Levi and Brianna, Jessica and Kaylin, Leah and Samantha, Debbie and Veronica, Katie and Nick, Stacy and Christine, and then we have a three-way partner of Delia, Benjamin, and Terry. Now, like I said, somebody emailed me today saying that their partner will not respond to them. So for that three group, Delia, Ben, and Terry, it is quite possible that one of you will be reassigned. I am sorry for that, but I will have to reassign you to the person who needs a partner if that person's partner will not respond to them. The last little bit of housekeeping that I want to say is that from now on, get used to doing works cited and graduate papers, graduated essays. Do a works cited page. So if you did not do a works cited page in your first assignment, make sure that you do one for this assignment. Even if you only cite one work, do a works cited list. And that's something that you're going to want to do for most of your graduate work if it's an essay or paper-based assignment, okay? So from now on, assume that I want a works cited page unless I expressly state that I do not. And I do want one for the next assignment, the virtual reference assignment. Okay? All right, let's take a quick gander at some of these biography information sources, and then the week is yours. All right, so let's take a look at the biography offerings that are offered through the Ellis Library at our institution, the University of Missouri. Let's try to find some specific databases. See, database by subject. Oh, all right. Well, we have biology, but not biography. Let me try type. There we go. Okay, so we've got biography resources by type here. And as you can see, our offerings are actually pretty skimpy. We only have 3, but thankfully 3 is what we're going to need. Now, a couple weeks ago, I did show you the literary criticism resources, and you can get biographical information on authors in those. So don't forget about that. And because we've already shown those, we're not going to reinvent the wheel. But what we're going to do is we're going to show these, and then we're going to show some public library offerings as well. Now, there are some public libraries that are going to offer these, and there are some academic libraries that are going to offer what I will be showing through Mid-Continent. So it's not foolproof that you will definitely be working specifically with biographies. It's not foolproof that you will be working specifically with this in an academic library or something else in a public library. You might end up with this in a public library, and you might find academic libraries with more sources listed as biographies than what you see here. But first, let's jump into Gale. And we're in the Gale Virtual Reference Library, and you can find pretty much your standard ready reference type information here and some other things as well. But we can stick actually with the advanced search. I know it's kind of tempting to go to a subject guide search when you are dealing with biography, but it's not something that you need to do here and now. So let's say that we needed a biography for Martin Luther King Jr. We can type in the name, we can get our auto search typed in and click search. And bada bing, we've got a lot of options here. And so what you're going to want to do is make sure that you are picking something that is appropriate to the audience that you are dealing with. And I hate to encourage you all to profile, but it might be what you need to do. So once you get here, you'll be brought to your list of results, and they'll be sorted by relevance by default. But what you'll have here are content levels: basic, intermediate, and advanced. You'll have your document types here: biography, topic overviews, so forth and so on. And this can get tricky because when dealing with the Martin Luther King thing, for instance, topic overviews might actually be relevant. So I just clicked the topic overview document type and got brought here. As you can see, 363 results, 363 results. But you can get various things through here that aren't direct biography, but they have some tie-in with Martin Luther King Jr. So, let's see. Looks like we might have a speech here. Let's see. I think it's starting on the next page, really. Yes, so what we've got here, this isn't information on Dr. King as far as biographical specifically, but it's really focused on the I Have a Dream speech. Got a little bit of background coming up. Come on, give me something. Why won't you load? Or did you load? Ooh, well, that's something you love to see. So yeah, Murphy's Law, whenever I'm showing this stuff off, of course, that's going to happen. But yes, you will get this type of information related to the speech, because this topic overview brings us really more toward the speech than to the man himself. Okay, I hope that makes sense. But what we're going to do now is we are going to go back. Let's see. There we go. And this time, instead of topic overview, we're going biography. So everything here really should be more biographical about the man himself. And so what you're going to want to do, again, you may have to profile your audience a little bit. But if you're dealing with, for instance, an elementary school student, then you might want to go to the basic. There is only one thing showing up in the basic, and it's 10 pages long. And it's not even, that is not even Dr. King. So things can get a little weird. Let's go with the advanced. So for the advanced, we have quite a few things showing up. American Constitution, Encyclopedia, International Encyclopedia of the Social Sciences, blah, blah, blah. But all of these things are supposedly more on the advanced tips. They're not really for your younger audiences. These things can be your high school, college, and adult sorts of things. And I'm sorry, I probably did that too fast. When you found something you like, click View Book. And you're going to get some information. So Martin Luther King Jr., you may have to scroll this page up and down a little bit. Martin Luther King Jr. starts there and goes on, and you can toggle your pages. Why is this happening? Image not available for copyright reasons. Skip over that though, and then you get back to the text. And I apologize for the missing information, but copyright is what rules the land. And so, of course, you've also got your citation tools. We've seen that before. And again, I encourage you, when you find something you want, to email it to yourself so that you'll have a record of it and you don't have to go looking for it again. So let's get out of that. Come back here. We are going to go back to that page. Back to that biographies page. And this time we are going to look at the New Grove Dictionary for Music and Musicians. Now, when you are in this database, one thing that should be noted is that you can just do the instant search here. Let's see. Yeah, let's do Michael Jackson. Apparently I was searching for him at some point. So let's see if he's in here. I see his picture right there too. So yeah, let's do it. You're not just restricted in the Oxford Music Online database to Bach and Beethoven and those guys. You get Michael Jackson. Maybe you get a little 50 Cent in there. I don't know. You should definitely get Michael Jackson. Now, here's the thing. Look at this. We have something with Michael Jackson come up, and I'm sure this is awesome, but it's also published online in 2001. It's been updated. So it was updated for his death, because that was the thing that I was looking at. I thought he died in like 2009 or 2010, because I know where I was working when he died, and I remember that being all I could think about that day. So I was like, he was still alive in 2001. But yes, this has been updated, so it does reflect that he has since passed away. So that's good. You get your little information there. You get some works cited there. See, also Quincy Jones. See, I'm telling you, they are hip with this. They are hip. Okay. But what you can do, if you're a little worried about your 2001 stuff not being updated or something of that nature, then you do have the ability to switch this from relevance to published online newest first. And then you can try to get your most recent information. Unfortunately, that has taken us off the Michael Jackson tip completely. We do have Janet down here. We have lost Michael. Can't lose Michael. So maybe it is best to stick with the relevance. So I steered y'all wrong, but that's part of the research process. Sometimes you get it wrong and you have to see the errors in doing things wrong in order to do them right. So that's where we are with that, and that's how we get to me saying, hey, you know, it's not always perfect, but continue the search anyway. I'm going to go back to the home page and do that exact same search again, but do it differently. All right, let's see. That made no sense, did it? I'm going to do that exact same search again, but do it differently. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. So, one other thing that you may want to do is come over here and you can change these types. So I can change this to biographical article and update it. And then I'm there. And it looks like I've really only got one entry per person. That's what this is starting to look like now. I saw Teddy Riley from Blackstreet down there. So you're getting some of this adjacent stuff. I think that, yeah, so Teddy Riley, I knew that he had done some work with, and if you guys are unfamiliar with Teddy Riley, that's No Diggity. You know what I'm saying? So everybody knows the song No Diggity, No Dap. I like the way you work it. And that's what this is, okay? And I knew that he had done some co-production with Michael Jackson, so he's getting caught up, but it looks like they may only maintain one biographical article per musician or per entertainer, and that's actually probably a good thing. So they stick with that one article and then they update it. That's what it looks like. Let's see if when we try Mozart, the same thing happens. If so, I've learned something today. I don't use this often, and most people really don't use this often. Okay, so we've got Mozart Societies, Mozart Families. Let's see if we can. Biographical article. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Give it to me. Come on. Okay. Maybe I should try this. Y'all are seeing the errors of a search process very strongly right now, but that's the thing. Searching is not a straight line. And that's why information seeking behavior is so important. Because you guys, if you remember your readings, you're probably seeing me do some of those things that were described. Maybe I'm kind of berry picking right now. Let's see. All right. So it's going to depend on who your artist is. And I'm seeing that, yeah, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, but we're not seeing an exact, we're not seeing an exact biography here the way we did with Michael Jackson, okay? So, you can find these musicians in other databases. You can find their biographies in other databases too, because now I'm starting to get a little frustrated with this one. Like I said, I never really used this one because really with biographical information, most of the time when I've gone to Gale, that's done the job. I am kind of curious now just to see how contemporary they're getting. We saw Teddy Riley, so obviously they're getting pretty contemporary. Again, I'm just curious. Let's try Jay-Z. See what's up. Oh, they did it. Oh, you Bamas. Okay, so we've got our biography for Jay-Z. Jay-Z is an important man, though. Do we have Tupac? So this might be a thing. If you think that you might not be able to get these biographies of some of these types of figures in some of those other databases, this may be a place to look. Now, let's go back to this homepage. Another thing that I did want to show you is that you might actually even be able to get, in case you need your librarian ego stroked, you might actually be able to get some information on music librarians in this database, which to me is pretty funny, but pretty cool. So you can have librarian and archivist. If you go to this tab, get away. Well, I can't get rid of that. But if you go to the occupation tab and then you have these various things, choreographers, composers, scholars, music scholars, but we have librarian and archivist, which I was just like, y'all are trying to make me feel good, trying to make me feel impotent. And so bring me here, and we actually have some biographical information on some people who were music librarians and that sort of thing. So you probably won't find this anywhere else. But you'll find it here, or you'll have a hard time finding it anywhere else. So this is an American music librarian, Lowell Ashley. And yeah, take a look at that. So that is something else to me. I don't even know what to say about it. But if any of you are interested in being music librarians, this might be you one day. You can go ahead and play around with that database some more. You all are supposed to be able to access it because you all are Mizzou students. Databases by type, biographies. We have one more to look at. That's literary index. So this brings us here. Let's Let's see. I'm going back for the Langston Hughes. Hit me. What's going on, fam? Come on, come on, come on. I may need to pause this. I'm going to pause it for a second. Okay, so after doing that Hughes search, we got to Langston Hughes. Let's click on Langston Hughes' name. And we have apparently a lot of information here because you all can't see my little scroll thing, but it's small. So that means I can do a whole lot of scrolling. I don't see any prose, so this looks like it's entries of work, Gale series that include this author. Oh, so what this is it's helping us find resources in Gale, at least this part, finding resources in Gale that can give us more information, supposedly biographical information on Langston Hughes. Then if we keep scrolling down, we've got entries, an entry of works by this author. And it looks like we've also got avenues where we can access these works. Okay. Oh goodness, that's a long page. But, so you know what you're looking at there. But as you can see, we don't really have the text, the prose biography here. This is an index. And there's a reason why it's being described as an index. And so understand that for what it is. And a lot of times indexes are not going to be so useful for your more run-of-the-mill types of research questions and interactions. So with that said, I've got Mid-Continent already open, so I'm going to go over there. And when you go to Mid-Continent Public Library, you do have one of your subject areas that you can choose from this biography filter. And again, what I love about Mid-Continent is they have this breakdown. So hold on one second. Okay, yeah, so let's look at this again. If you don't select a target audience for Mid-Continent, then these are the 8 resources that come up: African American Biographical Database, American National Biography, Biography and Genealogy Master Index, Biography in Context, Biography Index Retrospective, Contemporary Authors, Dictionary of Literary Biography, Complete Online, and something about the author online. So, let's just play around with this, see what happens when we limit to kids. Haha, it goes down to 1. And when we have adults, we should probably still have this something about the author online up there. This resource does deal with children's authors, but I want to say that that should still remain. Let's see if I'm right or wrong. Yeah, so even though this guy here is probably specifically for your children's authors, there are reasons why an adult would need to want to learn more about children's authors, particularly if that adult is a parent of a young child. So that was my logic in thinking that that was going to stay there. So yes, it is there. Let's take a look at that first. We're going to take very quick looks. Hopefully we can get through it within 15 minutes because we're at the 30-minute mark, but we're going to take very quick looks at these 8 resources. Okay, I'm back out here. Let me go back into something about the author online. We're in. And really, basic searches, you don't have to get too fancy with this. You can always get back into it on your own time, play around with it. But basic searches are going to get you what you need here. Dr. Seuss. So it's the only children's writer I really know. Put his name in, and you'll be brought to, again, a list of results. We have biography and autobiography. Huh. That's interesting. Let's get some of that autobiography action. What's going on with that? This does not appear to be Dr. Seuss himself on the autobiography. So yeah, let's go back. But you know the drill. Can select one of these and you'll get your scanned page. Get a little information on Dr. Seuss there. And at times you're going to just have to look until you find the best biography for you. One thing you might want to pay attention to, because I saw that one was really short and we've got 1,000 words. You might want to look at your word counts. Perhaps if you have a 4,000 word biography, might be a little more useful than the shorter biography, depending on what you're trying to do. What's going on here? Zoom out. Not that far. Okay, so we've got Dr. Seuss starting there. And this can be counterintuitive, as you just saw, so I didn't see that immediately. I had to zoom out and then get back, but I got my information there. And I got career, I've got awards, I've got writings. Film adaptations, satellites, some other information. But we've got a lot of stuff on Dr. Seuss here. So this can be useful for your children's authors. Let's get out of that and look at another one. Biography in context is going to be, I think, somewhat similar to what we were looking at with the Mizzou database. You will have featured people who are featured for one reason or another. If you've been watching the news, Kamala Harris has been, she's been kind of a spectacle in the news, as have all the Democrats. I think if anyone is wanting Trump to be reelected, you're in luck, because the Democratic Party is a self-defeating mess right now. But having said that, you can actually browse your people. You've got a huge listing of people. Okay. You'll see when things are updated. So comedian Tiffany Haddish, who's one of my favorite comedians, something's been updated on her recently. So you can click these and you get much richer information once you get to one of these overview pages. So this is why I love Gale. This is why I love this particular resource, which again is biography in context. So once you click someone, and this time we've got Tiffany Haddish, and she is about to turn 40. Tiffany Haddish is one of my many crushes, just so you know. But you get an overview page for one thing. So we get this information, and a lot of this information is actually probably on Wikipedia, just so you know. But Wikipedia, as we all know, is a very unstable source. It's not particularly inaccurate, even though it can be inaccurate. But what's wrong with it is it's unstable. It can change from 1 minute to the next. But once you get that overview biography, you can actually then go to a bunch of other content, including featured content, things that these things look like they were articles that were written about her, but there are other types of things that can show up in featured content, biographies. Yeah, even this comedian here, who is not a comedian on the level of Richard Pryor, or, you know, she's not on that level of notoriety that, say, Richard Pryor or Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle or these guys. She's not there, but she's still important enough to have these biographies written about her. She's got that type of notoriety. And then you can select images. Sometimes these are images that can be used freely in other works. This will show you how to cite the image so that if you do use it, this image may be used for personal, non-commercial uses only. You can cite the image, you can cite where you got it, but these types of images, as you can see here, there's no restriction saying that you have to note the photographer. It's good if you can do that, and we've got the photographer here, but it's not, we've got the rights information here, so this can be used for, again, personal, non-commercial purposes. Just make sure you're not profiting in any way off of this image. So you can find some images of Tiffany that you can include in work. There may be some video and then magazine and news coverage. So you've got that. And like I said, when somebody's updated, you'll get this this nice little update thing here, this nice little updated sign. But you've got a long list of people, and you've got all types of people. So you've got, you've got freaking 2 Chainz, man, 50 Cent, Aaliyah. So contemporary African American music on the first 3. But then you can go right down to, you got Ricky Gervais, comedian. I'm looking for more important people, people who are not in entertainment, and I just want to select one and go with that person that I want it to be somebody that I'm fairly familiar with. Get all these entertainers. Is this... Ugh. Well, let's go with Al Gore. Some people might say he's in entertainment, but yeah, this is Al Gore, and so you get similar information there, but of course you've got a lot more stuff because this guy has a much higher public profile. And I think there was a Supreme Court justice right after Al Gore. Let's see. Yeah. So it's not just entertainers. I am somebody who likes to be entertained, so I like these entertainers, but you get more serious biographies here too, okay? Let's get out of that. Let's go through these other ones very quickly. African American biographical database. This one, as you might imagine, is useful for searching for information on African Americans. Let's see, search profiles. Who might we have? Let's see if we got... wondering if we have John Lewis in here. Oh, that is messy. Okay. So as you can tell, this is another one that I don't use. Lewis, browse. You can't see what I'm doing over there. So when I did that, I got brought to this search. I did a Lewis browse, and I'm searching for Congressman John Lewis. Oh God, there's so many John Lewises. Yeah. Okay. Y'all are seeing the search process. That's what I'm saying. God, this is clunky. So what you have to do is actually select this and then hit view profile. And this is not the congressman. That is not the congressman. So take this for what you will. I've noticed that the other databases tend to get me what I need for African American biographies typically. Let's see. Okay, and this is another Gale resource. So if you are a journalist, let's see if Sean Hannity makes the list. missed. Should I put his name in? Should I put his first name in? Let's see. Hannity. No. Novelist. How about Stephen King then? Whatever. Let's see. Stephen King. Okay. So there, okay. And then you got Stephen King. And this should look familiar to you. So similar concepts. And you'll get this coming down. That is a handsome man right there. Ooh. All right. Let's actually just kind of wrap this up. Biography index. Why not? Ooh, Stephen Hawking. So you can search for these people. If you do an advanced search, just know that your drop downs, you should be familiar with what your drop downs are. So you can have works by title, corporate authors, personal authors, and all these various sorts of things. I would assume that, let's see what happens when we do subject search for Stephen Hawking, because these would be things written about him and not by him. Yeah. So Mind of a Genius. Nothing when we try to do the link to full text. So that's not good. But when you scroll down, just to make sure you're doing this right, in case there's more than one Stephen Hawking, for instance, you can come here, click the subject link, and then you should have everything that is subject, that lists him as a subject. Now, as you can see, there's no full text for any of this in this database. And so there are going to be times when you're going to have to go through other avenues to actually locate your articles. And maybe I'll show you all a little bit on that next week. And then, yeah, these other things, you know what? I'm gonna skip all that for now. These other things work pretty much the same as what I've already shown you, okay? So just kind of take that in. I would say that your go-tos are often going to be biography and context if you have access to that, or your just general Gale reference package can be very useful. And that's what we were looking at with the Mizzou resources. That's what we were looking at when we looked at the Gale virtual reference library. We were kind of looking at just the specific Gale package for biography that Mizzou subscribes to. And if you are in a public library, there's a good chance that you're going to be using these biographical resources a lot, because it seems like a lot of students who come in, a lot of times they need biographical information for assignments that they do at the K-12 level. So that's all we've got there. At this point, I'm going to stop it, try to keep it under 45 minutes. Thank you for your attention. If you did not get that grade on that first assignment, I need to hear from you by March the 1st, period. Have a good week.